Okay, welcome to Robert's Bulgaria, aka Bulgarian Organic Smallholding, and the first in the series of Survival Saturday. Great, huh? I have enough with Smallholding Sunday, now I have Survival Saturday. So, Survival Saturday, some of you will have seen in previous videos that last year I had a hammock and a tarp and blah 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 blah. But this year I want to make something a little bit more permanent. I want to make an off-grid, all year round camp. And this is my most favorite spot. There is my neighbor over there with her sheep. You see, she can see me, so I'm not so stealthy, even though I'm in camouflage, because I'm moving about. And well, what do the guys that supposedly know more than I do, with 50,000, 100,000, 500,000 subscribers, say about the ideal campsite? Well, they say it's the 4 or the 5 W's, yeah? They say you should have water. Well, I have water. I have water running down there. I have a pond over there. And I have a millbank bag, and I have lots of ways of treating water. But the water in my village, and don't forget my house comes from a borehole 30 meters deep, but this water in the stream, from what I understand, has a very, very high level of nitrates and nitrite, which isn't good, and boiling doesn't get rid of them. So I have a test kit on the way from Amazon UK, and I will make my own tests. And if that water is as high in nitrates as one guy at the other end of the village suggested from his well, then the only thing I can do without electricity is to distill that water. I can do it. So water I have. Number 2, wood. Well, I have lots of wood, lots and lots and lots of wood. I have more wood than you could possibly want. I have wood everywhere, and I collect it. And that doesn't mean to say that you can, you know, just have a huge bonfire every time you just fancy it. You know, you need to use your wood for what you need it. Yeah, there's a pile, for example. Not processed, it's just piled up. You need to use it for, well, for heat, fuel. I need it to cook. If I'm down here, if I'm off grid. And I need it for materials, for building materials. You know, you can make a lot of bushcrafty stuff, although I don't particularly like the word bushcraft. Also, I have a lot of old wood from different, from some regenerated, let's say, just say from some old thing that I saved, because with wood and building, yeah, when it's an overnighter, it's one thing, but when you go and have a permanent, semi-permanent to permanent, and this will be permanent but movable, then it's a little bit different. You need that water not only to drink, you need that water to wash yourself, shower, bath, whatever. You need that water to wash clothes. You need that water for a lot of things, and so it all works in tandem. I already made myself here a little. It's not a rocket stove. Don't say rocket. It's not a rocket stove. Of course it's a rocket stove. It's just some tubes. I can tell you that works very, very efficiently. It works too efficiently to cook on. It's too hot, but it'll boil water within minutes, a few minutes. So what do? We had water, we have wood. What else is on the list? Let's have a look. Let's have a look at my notes. Wind. Well, maybe we should just put weather, because the prevailing wind comes from that direction where little Malcho is. Northeast, comes from Russia. It howls through here in the winter. We spend about 8 months of the year trying to keep cool and 4 months of the year trying to keep warm. So I'm down in the former man-made lake, and so, you know, I'll put a clip in here, or a link to a clip in here. This has a tendency to flood, and so I need to be off the ground. So it's not only about wind. Yeah, you want to be out of the wind as much as you can, but you want to be out of the sun, you want to be out of the rain, and you want to be out of the flooding. So it's a lot more than just out of the wind. And then the things you don't want. Oh, widow makers. Well, hence the reason for me changing my plan, because last year I just had a hammock between this tree and this tree and a tarp over the top. And in the last one of the recent films, Silky Sunday, you saw me cutting that down. Not overly successful, but I got it down. But when I look around this area, there are a lot of dead branches up high. Now, they're not the whole tree, and I don't want to cut the whole tree down, but there is a good risk of some of this stuff falling on my head. So I don't want to be here on the top. I don't want to be solely relying on the top. I want something a little bit more solid. So I have a plan to do something which I'm not going to share with you guys just yet. I want it to be a little bit of a surprise, but I'm already starting to level out the area where I want it to be. I'm using recycled tires as my base. It raises me off the ground, and this is not the final height. I'll be higher than this because, as I said, I know where the flood line goes. And these trees, because my camp will actually be between these trees, they will actually give me some kind of a buffer for stuff that might fall down on my head. And with the camp that I have in mind, even that can protect me a lot. So that's widow makers out of the way. That's that thought through. What's next on my list? Oh, wildlife. In the 50,000 subscribers film, we had wigglies, meaning snakes. Well, I have snakes. Fortunately, most of them are non-venomous. You've seen them in the small holding films, the smock, the European whip snake, but we also have vipers. Don't see them very often, very rarely see them, but I don't want them in my camp. I don't want them in my sleeping bag, and therefore I need to not only be off the ground, because being off the ground is nothing for snakes. They don't worry about that. They'll find a way up there if they wish to. But there are other wildlife that I do need to worry about. Mice. I have infestation of mice. They'll be in your food as soon as you leave anything open, they'll be in it, and they'll be eating it, and they'll be peeing in it, and defecating in it, and they'll be causing you disease. So mice, we have moles, we have voles, we have rats. These are not the rats that live in the sewers. These are the rats that live in the stream, and they're definitely around. We have the snakes I mentioned. Bigger predators. Well, we have humans, of course. Can never, discount them intruding when you don't want them to. We have what they call jackali. We have foxes. We have dogs, both domesticated and wild. So, you need to protect your food if you're off-grid, and therefore, and also to try to keep it cool. I already started with this project. So there's a snake down there. You see the snake in my barrel? You see the snake? You see the snake? There goes the snake down there. The snake just disappeared down there. That's great. I have my tin food in there, and I have my water and some beer in here. And now I understand I'm sharing my food supply with the snake. I hope you just managed to catch the tail end of it. Probably a water snake, maybe not, but it's gone down there inside of the tire. That was just very fortunate to see that, so I'll have to watch out for that when I go to get some food from there. Yeah, I put these rubber tires in to give me a step up and down. There was a bit slippy, and this path was made by volunteers last year because I have a surplus of rubber tires. And why do I have a surplus of rubber tires? They're not mine. I just discovered that they're a very good resource. and I found a place that I was tipped off, beautiful place actually, where somebody, I'm not saying who, obviously when they change the tires from winter to summer, or they have changed for new tires, they don't have a place to get rid of them, so they take them out and they just dump them in some beautiful little stream. So I go there with a grappling hook and recover these tires, and I use them around the territory for different projects. These are the ones I've got to use, and I'm going to use them as the base of my camp. I already said I'm going to raise it up. A lot of things I'm going to have to raise up. The fire pit won't be a fire pit. It'll be raised up, because what's the point of having it below water level if you, well, it's just elementary, huh? Makes sense, huh? So that's where we are on Survival Saturday. I'll be doing some filming. I can't always film and upload the same day because I don't do the editing. Evie does it, and she has to fit me into a schedule. And also, you know, I film over a few days, so it can be, you know, a week late. There's a film coming now which has nothing to do with this particular part of the channel, which, you know, goes back over a month, because it's that's the way it works. That's the way it works with us. So we have the basis of, we have the place. We've covered I think all our W's. Have I forgotten anything? No. Water, wood, wind, weather, widow makers, and wildlife. So, and of course I have the electric fence here because the pigs are there, and up there is another electric fence. So the access is from here and from up there, so I can pretty much control. And I will also be growing some food down here. I mean, the garden, the Back to Eden garden, is in that direction. It's a few meters walk to go get some tomatoes, but I want to have some herbs here. You're cooking here. Why not have fresh herbs? What's the problem? Just takes a barrel, a container with some soil in it, and as long as it's watered, you'll have lettuce, you'll have your dill, you have your parsley, you have your mint right on your doorstep. It costs you know, a few cents, maybe as much as a euro to get a whole packet of seeds, and if you do it right, within 3 weeks you will have lettuce. That's it. It's all part and parcel of trying to make a permanent camp. I asked somebody who's got 70,000 subscribers. I like his channel. He goes out to his camp, takes his dog and cooks an enormous amount of food, eats a lot of chocolate. I'd be as fat as the side of a house if I ate what he ate. But I asked him once, why don't you actually grow some herbs out there? Ooh, good question. But I can't introduce some foreign species to... What the hell is that all about? It's in a container. Oh, mint can, you know, spread, but some herbs in some containers in your camp, I don't understand. It's different strokes, different folks. Anyway, that's it. It's 13 minutes, it'll be 14 minutes. Too much. So over and out for now. See you in part 2. Please subscribe. You know where the wolf head is. Ring that notification bell. Stay with me. Support me. It's all I can ask for. Over and out for now.